Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate, have a $6 million net worth, and cash flow $10,000 a month. So I had a great question in the comments asking, have I thought about pivoting into syndications? So passively investing in syndications and spend the time to vet a few operators, then leave it to them to invest in commercial real estate, live off that cash on cash return, and wait for the exit payouts. It's more passive while still enjoying the returns of real estate on your equity. So this is a great question, and what I want to talk about, I actually haven't really thought about becoming a syndicator myself, as well as investing in a syndication. And the reason for that is, for me, I like to have control. And I'd rather own 100% of a smaller portfolio versus 5% of a much larger portfolio. And it's just a different business model, right? Like, I know a lot of syndicators, they show off that they own 200 units, but they syndicate. So what syndication typically means is you want to pull money together. And once you pull money together, you're going to buy larger deals. And the general partners, so typically the general partners are a team, the GPs. There's a underwriter, there's an acquisition person, there is customer success, there's a money raiser. It's just a team of people, and they're basically dividing and conquering. So they have different tasks. And what they do is they will raise money from passive investors or limited partners called LPs. And from there, they will then invest into real estate. So, conceptually, yes, it's a lot. If I were to become on the GP side, the general partner side, it's a different business model. And for me personally, I don't want to deal with investing other people's money. I am happy investing myself with my own money, so that if I lose my money, it's just my money. I don't think I'll be able to sleep at night, at least right now, if I lost, close friends, close family's money, and just dealing with that stress. I don't think it's worth it for me, right? Like, I own enough real estate as is. If I stop today, 52 units, and it can live a very comfortable life as is. So for me, that's why I haven't really thought about the GP route, because for me, it's really hard to, find partners, number one, to be your GP, right? Like, so for me, I'd have to do it myself, and I'm not sure right now I have the capacity. So, for me, having partners, and this is my limitation, right? And I know this. That's why I cannot become a billionaire, because I just like doing things myself. And I'm fine with, right? Like, I know I can be very wealthy as is, but I won't become a billionaire. Maybe my kids will become a billionaire. I can train them and develop them to become a billionaire, but they have to want to work with people. They have to want to deal with people, and they want to have to, work with a bunch of partners. 9 out of 10 will be bad, but once you find that one good partner, you can become a billionaire, right? So for me, not my cup of tea, right? That business model doesn't sound enticing at all. I'd rather just own real estate myself. Once again, 100% myself. Yes, I will scale slower, but I've complete control of my asset portfolio. And once again, like, even today, I can do nothing, and I've owned way more real estate than I ever thought I would. Own way more real estate than people thought I would own. So I'm good as is, right? So that's why I don't want to become a syndicator on the GP side, right? Even though I do have the skill set, I do know how to manage apartments, I do know how to find apartments, I do know how to renovate apartments, but what I don't know is, raising money, is, client management and all that stuff. So, and the second piece is investing as an LP. So what a lot of people have been suggesting to me is, I have a $6 million net worth. I could sell all my real estate, besides my primary residence that I live in right now. And let's just say I have $5 million of equity in real estate. Sell it after taxes and all that. Maybe I have about $4 million. And I could take that $4 million, invest it, and let's just say you get a 5% return on the money, and that's going to be about, $200K a year. So, and you still get the tax write-offs of real estate, right? Because you get your K1, so you could get depreciation. You don't have to do active management. But from my experience, I don't know, this might be the jaded side of me, is like, they always say it's more passive, but you have to vet the operators. And in order to vet operators, you have to have done deals yourself. Like, this is the whole catch-22 of, like, investing passively is that how do you know if an operator is good if you've never operated an apartment yourself? Right? Like, this is my huge fallacy. This is why I'm so skeptical of like professionals like CPAs. I'm so skeptical of CPAs because I'm like, well, how do you know the tax write-offs of real estate if you don't own real estate yourself and done your own tax returns of real estate? Yes, you could learn and read some books, but it hits different when you do it yourself, right? Like, and also like attorneys, like how do you know how to draft up documents for syndications if you've never done a syndication yourself? So that's just me. That's just a weird quirk that I have. And that's probably a limiting belief that I might need to get rid of, but that's how I am today, right? Like, that's why I do my own taxes. Maybe I'm losing out on opportunity, but I've heard many stories where 9 out of 10 CPAs are terrible and they're missing stuff. Like, I have a friend where he qualifies as a real estate professional and he's paid a CPA for the past 10 years and he never once knew about real estate professional status until I told him. And I'm not a CPA. I'm just a guy who does his own taxes on TurboTax, and I self-educate myself. So he's paying this professional, and the professional doesn't know more than me, who's some random guy who self-educates himself. That's off, right? Like, you would expect if you're going to a professional, they should know more than you, but that's not the case. And same with syndicators, right? Like, most of the time when you're talking to a syndication team, you're talking to the marketing guy, and he just memorized some pitch deck, some sales deck, and they just give you these nice numbers, show you nice spreadsheets. It's 20 pages long, right? But you can because I'm an experienced operator now, I can tell if their pro forma is complete bullshit, right? Like, what's their expense ratio? If they're telling me it's like 30%, that's bullshit. You know, I own apartments, stabilizing it, and fully renovate apartments, and then stabilized or unstabilized apartments, and I know the expense ratio is at least 55% in Oklahoma, right? So, because there's a lot of expenses there, and like, what are they suing for cap rates? Like, what type of loan are they getting? Are they getting 10-year term loans? Like, I have bought only 10-year term loans, but now a lot of syndicators got, 3-year loans, 5-year loans, and they're getting burned now, right? A lot of syndicators that bought in 2019 are getting burned today. How are they managing the property, right? So there's a lot of things, like I said, it's hard to vet syndicators if you've never owned apartments yourself. So it's a catch-22. So, like, for me now that I have experience, yes, I probably could vet, syndicators, but even then, like, when you invest in syndication, you cannot put all your eggs in one basket. Like, you have to invest in like multiple syndicators, right? Like, multiple asset classes with multiple syndicators, so you're diversifying your risk. So I have to find, I can't just find one good syndicator and give all my money to them. That would be stupid. I would have to find one good syndicator, one good deal, invest with them, and then diversify, right? So I might have to invest with like 10 different syndicators and give them $50,000 each for $500,000 total, right? But for me, I'm just like, well, can I just take my $500,000 and then just find a small apartment complex for myself in Oklahoma? I could do that right now. So, to me, it's not as rosy as it's portrayed as, right? Like, yes, like, conceptually, you give your money to some guy and you give your money back, but that's not the case, right? Like, a lot of times, you can lose money with syndication, right? You can lose money investing yourself. So, and a lot of times the syndicators, a lot of syndications end up being Ponzi schemes where they're raising money for a new deal and they're using that money to pay old deals. So it's really scary in terms of that aspect. So yes, it is more passive, but there are risks associated with it. So if you are just like, making so much money, like, imagine like you're an NBA star, NFL star, and you're just giving your money to somebody who can invest the money for you. In that case, it makes sense. But I think for the everyday person like me, I'm upper middle class, like, just learning how to invest in apartments yourself may be a way to go. You don't need to own a lot. You just need to own 1 or 2 apartment complexes that you own for a long time, that is managed well, and that's enough for you to like replace your W-2 income potentially, or supplement, maybe replace half your W-2 income and you can be part-time, like whatever that looks like, right? So that's kind of my view on it. So to each their own, right? Like, for me, I didn't mind, buying my own deals, stabilizing my own deals, but just know that if you invest with a syndicator, nothing is guaranteed as well, right? And nothing's guaranteed either if you do your own deal. So it's just a matter of what do you want to do. And I will say, people say, oh, invest with a syndicator first to learn. Like, you don't really learn much if you invest with a syndicator. Like, they don't want to teach you. That's why they're focused on the deal, right? Maybe you could invest in a syndication if you want to see how to run your own syndication, right? But, I'm sure there's a lot of issues going on right now of high interest rates. Like, people are doing capital calls. People are having to, the distributions are probably not as what they initially promised in the pro forma. So there's a lot of factors happening, and you're at the mercy of people who make decisions, and hopefully they know more than you. But oftentimes than not, from my experience, they end up not knowing more than you. Like for example, my mobile home park, I had a third party property management who they own mobile home parks. They manage 70 mobile home parks, and they still did a shitty job despite being in the industry for 30 years, despite owning mobile home parks themselves. Crossed all the boxes off, but they ended up not managing the property well, and I ended up losing $100,000 on a deal and sold it, and don't want to work with them again. So, like, you would think somebody with 30 years of experience who owns mobile home parks themselves, who's managing 70 parks would be great, but no. So, there's always risk and benefit to everything. So hopefully this gave you some insight as to why I myself am not a syndicator right now, and why I'm right now not investing as an LP. Hopefully that gave you some insight. Right now I prefer just to own 100% of a smaller pie. That might be my own limiting belief, to each their own. But if you are interested in buying your own multifamily deal and own 100%, check out the mentorship program link down below. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. Please share this video with somebody who can find value from this. Like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.